Historically, self-destruct. That's the headline in the op-ed written by Alan Mashburn, my next guest, who is a GOP candidate for lieutenant governorship in North Carolina. And there's so much to this. We talk a lot about culture and how politics is downstream from pop culture, especially, but culture as a whole. We have a cultural assault, the difference between socialism, socialist ideas, and a constitutional republic, a free market versus a government-controlled market. We have the trans ideology being shoved down our throats, to an earlier caller, to Maddie's call about the toddler level books being placed in a library. Far different from adults making decisions about what to do with their lives, but rather a marketed indoctrination of young people into a belief structure over the last 2 to 3 decades that has become a cultural degradation that we see playing out even in the recent month, Pride Month. So let's dive into the op-ed and the issues. My guest, as I said, Alan Mashburn, who is a candidate for the lieutenant governor's seat in North Carolina. Good morning, sir. Welcome. All right, let's try that again. Alan, do I have you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
There we go. Technology is always the enemy of, I don't know, whatever. Anyway,
Absolutely.
Hopefully you heard my introduction there while you were on hold, but
I did, and again, honor to be with you, sir.
So let's dive right in, because culture is important to preservation of society, all the other aspects. And your piece, I've got to tell you, I didn't just read it once. I read through it. I went to segments. You covered, you set the stage for this discussion, and that's often the case when you put an article out. You want people to think. So let's start with the top line on this, on the attacks on our culture.
Well, I think you segued into this perfectly. This has almost been insidious up until a couple of years ago. It was subtle, but all of a sudden the accelerator has been pressed, and we have been force-fed. The transgender movement, this has really become their religion, that they have been evangelistically, and I use that term lightly because it's referred to the gospel, but it has been forced down our throat, and it has had an effect, and it's not a good effect on us at all. And if we don't have a spiritual renewal, I don't think we're going to recover from this. But politics cannot save us. We can't legislate our way out of this. We have to have a change of heart, change of mind.
Yeah, the one word, I think you probably have heard this, but no. At what point do we just say no? You're not a bigot for saying no to a bad idea, but we're being told that we are. And society needs to say no. But how do we get society to say no?
I think it takes courage. Courage is contagious. And, it's odd that we're talking about this very article, because I was attacked last night. I had a young guy in his 20s sent me almost a book of his thoughts on this, and of course, everything I was in the wrong. But that's the way his mind has been conditioned. I think we have to have the courage to stand up. Social media and the big networks have made it look like they are the majority. Well, in fact, we are the majority. We're the silent majority, but we have to have that courage, that backbone, to stand up and say enough is enough. We will protect our children. We will not take it any longer. The preservation of this country, there is nowhere else to go in the world. We will stand, and we will stand strong.
We have, as you write about in your article, And I'll use the example you used. Videos circulating on social media from the Seattle Pride Parade. Naked men openly displaying their genitalia in front of children. New York. Drag marchers chant menacingly, declaring their intentions to target young minds at a so-called all ages and family-friendly Pride event in Denver, a performer enacting a sexually explicit scene on stage, even inviting members of the audience to partake. And I went back and looked this up, and members of the audience joined in. Again, back to the point of saying no. Some may not, but society has to say no to this. And it's as if we've thrown out something very basic in law. You're seeking public office, so this is a good point to bring up, I think, that indecent exposure laws have not been repealed to by, I guess overall recollection anywhere in the United States. Maybe there have been some adjustments, but indecent exposure has not been repealed. So what's going on here?
Well, I don't know how you can illegally have child porn on your computer and be arrested and be a felon for that. But yet a grown man can wave his genitalia in the face of a child and it's okay because it's a movement or it's a parade or it's a coming out party. No, we do not have to accept this. And I'm sick and tired of being told that I'm a bigot or that I have to accept this. We shall not accept it. We have got to put this this has got to be the hill that we're willing to die on, specifically in front of our children.